Virgo, my mercurial cousins, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your full moon in Aquarius message. It is a general collective reading, so as the messages come through today, take what fits, leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means it is meant for someone else. And please check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. And if you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box of this video is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. So, Virgo, I pulled up your chart here, and this is for Sun, Moon, Rising, which is your ascendant or your Venus. This full moon in Aquarius, this lunation, is going to illuminate for you your sixth house of daily routines, wellness and service. So you're being urged at this time to let go of like obsessive micromanagement, perfectionism, and maybe even some stressful habits that you have. So stressful habits, this could be like over catastrophizing something, micromanagement, insomnia, which could be due to like doom scrolling, endless tweaking of something, like it's got to be right before I present it to the boss or the public, or before I have this conversation with this person, fixating on someone's flaws as opposed to maybe seeing the brilliance of them. And it would like, once you see that the flaw in them, you hyper focus on it, and it sort of like tarnishes that person in your eyes. But at the end of the day, they really are a good person. And it could also be like physical manifestations that come about through stress. So this is like neglecting your basic needs, having a lot of physical tension because what you're going through. So how this can manifest for you is like clenching of your jaw, or tightening your shoulders, or maybe grinding your teeth at night. And then for others of you, it could be more like social habits, like unsolicited fixing. Someone in your circle has a crisis and you feel like you have to show up and like solve their problem. And that, you know, ends up draining your emotional energy. And then for others of you, it could be like bottling up your emotions. So stressful habits come about through lots of things. It's not just like the stuff that we ingest, you know, like drugs or alcohol. And it doesn't have to be financial either, like overspending. It could be more like I said, like over catastrophizing, doing things before bed that create insomnia for you. And the biggest thing for me when I was looking at the chart was a lot of you feeling like you always have to help out everyone else. And it sort of like leaves you burnt out. So let's see where we go with this message. I'm using the Urban Crow Oracle deck, and then we'll dive deeper with Tarot. So for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements, tell me more about their full moon in Aquarius message, particularly how it pertains to their sixth house of daily routines, wellness, and service. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have self-interest, card number 45. The bottom of the deck, we have card number 28, luck. Card number 45, self-interest. I regularly have 4 neighborhood crow visitors. There was one crow that seems a bit more selfish when it comes to the food I put out, while the other crows take their turns, grabbing a nugget or 2 of the dog food I leave out on a plate. There is one crow that will shove as much in its mouth as possible, not caring if there isn't a single crumb left for the others. Self-interest indicates that you may be looking out for only yourself, and as a result, others will be impacted. On the flip side, be aware of the actions taken by those around you, as someone may try to come in and take more than their fair share. This would be like you running to feed people, for an example, but then they take advantage of you, right? That's that unsolicited fixing there that we see there as a potential downfall in the sixth house. Being selfish isn't always bad. Sometimes we need to focus on our wants and needs. Depending on your situation, self-interest may indicate that you are in need of some pampering, or that it is time for you to learn how to put your needs above others. Hello, I said that in the intro. For example, your dream job may require a move or a shift in lifestyle. You may need to weigh the impact taking this job will have on those around you. In the short term, you may be perceived as selfish, but in the long term, your decision may benefit all of those around you. Okay, tell me more about this message here for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. Why is card number 45, self-interest, their full moon in Aquarius message? One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the King of Pentacles. That's you in your highest vibration, okay, whether you're masculine or feminine. So here's you, giving of your resources. Someone needs something. You show up with the cup, with the money, with the time, with the love. And then we have 3 of Pentacles. So it's like you're always showing up here like, I think the people that you have in your life or the people that have interacted with you probably feel very lucky. I'm looking at that card number 28, luck, at the bottom of the deck. I think they do feel very lucky to have you, or in the past they have felt lucky to have you, because whenever they needed something, like this individual here is in need of something, other people in their lives just kind of sit around and don't do anything. Like this person's on a ladder here, right? This is like scaffolding. And they're the only ones working on that Three of Pentacles. Everyone else around them is sort of just not helping them. But here you come with, I can do that. I can wash that floor. I can take out the garbage. I can pay that bill. I can lend you money. I can show you compassion. So I think you give very generously to people who need it, because you either recognize or they said to you that no one else can help them or no one else can provide what you provide. And it's almost not saying that you have a savior complex. Don't take it that way. But I just think you have been very generous. At the bottom of the deck, we have Queen of Cups. Very generous with your time, your love, your money, your devotion, and oftentimes to your detriment. Because I could also see that Three of Pentacles in the reverse, like you run to everyone else's aid, and yet when you need something, here you are on the ladder working on this all by yourself. And here are 4 people that you have helped in the past, and they're nowhere to be fucking found. And if you don't like cursing, I may just not be the tarot reader for you, because every now and then the New Jersey Gemini in me pops out. So I apologize. I'll try to control that. Okay, tell me more about that King of Pentacles. Tell me more about that King of Pentacles. One more shuffle here. Thank you. King of Pentacles, clarified by Page of Wands, 9 of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. Bottom of the deck, we have 6 of Pentacles. Let me get a couple more cards here on the table. Clarify the Ace of Cups here. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Ace of Cups is clarified by the 8 of Cups. Yes. Ace of Wands, going to do it differently this time. 5 of Swords, and some people may not like it. 3 of Pentacles. One more shuffle. Thank you. 3 of Pentacles, clarified by Page of Swords, High Priestess, learning something new. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords, and that, my love, is the truth. So I think your message is going to be a little shorter than the others. The last few have run into like the 20-minute mark. I'm not sure we're going to get that with you, but maybe let's see what comes about. But this is you in the past. I think this is something that you learned in childhood. Okay, the 9 of Wands to the Page of Wands. This is like a childhood wound for me. You discovered along the way that you have to give or you have to overgive. This is giving me the feeling of, and maybe it's something you do now, maybe it's something you did in the past. It's like the Virgo who like throws the best party, like the best barbecue party. And everyone comes over. No one ever says to you, is there anything that I can bring, right? Do you need hot dog buns for the hot dogs? They just expect you to have an endless supply of food and drink. And then when they have a party, you show up with everything that they need. You're considerate. You either ask or you just come with something because you don't want to go empty-handed. Meanwhile, they come to you empty-handed. There's something here that correlates back to childhood or early adolescence, where you learned, this was a wound here that you have yet to heal, right? I think some of you have been in the process of healing it. You're like in the thick of it right now, that in order for you to be loved, in order for you to be respected, in order for people to give you time or to give you attention or to make you feel special, you had to overgive. You had to carry the weight of a connection, professional, platonic, or romantic. That's how you made friends. That's how you received love, was by overgiving. And I see you now sort of moving into the Queen of Wands. And I love the Queen of Wands in your deck because the Queen of Wands is reserved. Her arms are crossed. It doesn't mean that you're not open to connection. You're just not open to connections where people take advantage of you. So it's like, I have fire. I can be inspired to give you what you need, but up to a limit. I'm not going to allow you to take advantage of me. That Queen of Wands is like, not this time. So I do feel like you're healing a wound where in the past, fire energy, and I know that you're earth, but in fire energy, there's this feeling of, I got to run. Somebody needs something, I got to give it. I got to give it. And I don't think you were doing it for egoic reasons, like, to get the pat on the back. I think it was just like inherently DNA sort of programmed in you through your upbringing, that's how you gave and received love. You overgave and you get breadcrumbs in return. You overgive at work and you're lucky if you get the quarter raise. But hey, you should be, consider yourself lucky that you got that quarter raise. You overgive to someone all year long and they remember your birthday, but 2 weeks after the fact, they tell you happy birthday. It's like, hey, well, you should be lucky. At least we remembered your birthday. So I just feel like this is something It's, again, I don't feel like you're closing off. It's more like protecting your energy. Some of you may be down to like no friends at this point because you've been burned so much in the past. And if that's your message, bravo to you, because you have some really great people coming in. But if you're not there yet, and I'm not telling you to ostracize yourself from your family or your friends, it's just maybe for one of you watching. But the feeling here seems to be controlling the need to put out other people's fires, controlling the need to be head of household, controlling the need to join a community group and be the only one who shows up and does everything, controlling the need to have to throw the most lavish parties just so at the end of the night they can say, good job, Virgo, we had a great fucking time. Meanwhile, your fridge is empty and you're left with a disaster that you have to clean up after 50 people leave your property. So I see you pulling back here. So that Ace of Cups, which in the past you so generously gave away, again, you still have the fire. You still have the Ace of Wands. You're not being, a jerk about it. You'll still be there for people. Five of Swords, but not the people who manipulate you, not the people who take advantage of you. And I think what some of you have been connecting, or maybe you will be connecting over the next couple of weeks, because the Aquarius full moon is on July 29th. It's not like we wake up on the 30th and it's done. Like, that energy is with us for a long time. So, and it ends up setting the stage for like the new us. So I think what you are releasing, or what you should be releasing, is the need here to run to everyone's aid, because it actually becomes an unnecessary burden to you emotionally or financially, maybe spiritually, maybe sexually. And because you put other people's interest above your own self-interest, it's starting to affect you in regards to your health. Now, I'm not a doctor. Check with your physician, your medical team, et cetera, et cetera. Do your own work on this. But it is a known fact that stress can create medical issues. And again, this is where we get into that insomnia. I'm going through the list because I wrote down notes on your chart. This is where you end up like staying awake late because the brain refuses to turn off its problem-solving mode because you just don't understand why you're being treated this way. And then it can turn into like micromanagement, because now you're trying to control a situation so you get back more reciprocity, and like that ends up having a negative effect. But again, it causes unnecessary stress for you. Spending hours rewriting or reorganizing or adjusting a project that was already completed, because this hyper vigilance of needing to be perfect, perfect, or to perfect something in order to be loved or in order to be recognized. It could turn into like somatic symptoms also, like manifesting mental anxiety, which could end up like triggering for you some physical ailments, most notably like digestive issues or like stomach aches, because Virgo, you are the house of the digestive system if we break down the 12 houses into actual like our bodies. So you rule the digestive system. So if you've been having these issues where like you find yourself clenching your jaw or tightening your shoulders or grinding your teeth, or you find yourself pacing a room, or you have some digestive issues, it might not just be a bug. Again, I'm not a doctor. Again, check with your medical I was going to say facility, physician. Okay. Disclaimer notice. Unfortunately, we live in a day where I have to give disclaimers, YouTube terms of service, but it could be manifesting itself into your body, like being overweight because you're overeating from the stress, or being very thin because you're undereating from the stress. And then there's also that feeling here of like bottling up emotions, like having to hide your stress behind this calm, capable exterior, because you've been conditioned that you have to be the rescuer, or you have to be the nurturer, or you have to be the provider. You always have to be calm. You always have to be resolute. You can't show weakness. So only take the messages that came through the channel through there. Just take the ones that apply to you. Obviously, you're not, not all of them will apply. But there is something here about you learning how to undo a pattern you picked up in life along the way. Like I said, for most of your childhood, early adolescence, or again, through your first, connections with work or with friends or, family members as you were growing up, or even romantic partners. It's just like a pattern you got into. So this is a new way of doing things. Page of Swords, acquiring knowledge, the High Priestess being the only individual in Tarot out of a 78 card deck that actually holds the Book of Knowledge. And then the Seven of Pentacles, pausing from now on. When someone asks you to do something, to run to their aid, to lend them money, it's pausing and asking yourself, how does this benefit me? Not because you're some self-interest, egoic, dirtbag. It's because you have given so much that you have to start pulling back. It's necessary for you to release the need to provide for everyone else. because it is manifesting in some way in your life into a health-related issue. So this would be like changing your routine. So the next time someone needs something from you, you pause and ask yourself, how does this benefit me? And it might feel uncommon for you to do that. You might feel like, oh my God, where's this coming from? I never used to do that before. I just ran. But that's the problem. You ran, almost running yourself into the ground. Tell me more about the people coming in, because I got a message here of like new people coming in. When I look at the card, I see these are the people who have benefited or are currently benefiting from what you've given them. But then I see like new arrivals coming in. Before I get into that, I want to pull 3 cards on a relationship. I feel like some of you may be leaving a connection. Not all of you, some of you. And you already know that with the High Priestess card. You're already contemplating walking away from a connection where there's been manipulation, or let me draw 3 cards on that. Can I get 3 cards for my Virgos who are walking away from a professional, platonic, or romantic connection? Your kids, your family, your friends, the coworkers, the clients may feel like you're being very selfish by doing this. Like, can't you overlook this? Can't you forgive this? No. No. If you put yourself first, no, you can't. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Death card. Okay, good. So most of you are going to move away from this person. 6 of Wands and the Moon. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Swords. So never allow me or another tarot to tell you what to do. Okay, I'm just letting you know energetically what is here is that in the energy of this full moon in Aquarius, there's the moon card, which is taking place in Leo season next week. We are 6 of Wands, Leo energy. You are putting an end to this, or you're making a plan to put an end to this. Because someone took advantage of your kindness in a way they should have never. So I see emotional detachment because of some kind of deception or lie or betrayal that you incurred at this person's hands. So it could be like now looking for another job. It could be divorce. It could be separation. But this is after a long period of you realizing that you were here on the ladder doing all the work and this person was out effing around. And this is like your moment to like F around and find out. Because the old Virgo would have tolerated it, but the new Virgo will not. So again, that's very specific for those of you who are moving on from someone or making plans to move on from someone. Ace of Pentacles going towards the new, and then Knight of Swords taking action there on your own behalf. Okay, can I get 3 more cards here, please? Any other closing messages here for Virgo? One more shuffle. Thank you. Page of Cups, 9 of Cups, and the Chariot, bottom of the deck, 5 of Wands. There will be people who don't like it. That you went from being, remember we saw that Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck, so generous with everything that you have, to Page of Cups. I could help you, but a little. I'm not available at 7 p.m. I'm available at 10 p.m. You're not telling these people go screw off. You're never going to help them, but you're doing it in smaller increments in a time of your choosing. Because at the end of the day, thank you, Mercury retrograde. I'm looking at the time. We only have a few hours and we go direct. Post shadow is coming, but that's okay. Because at the end of the day, you are nurturing. In the 9 of Cups card here in your deck, the individual is holding a baby. So again, whether the wound occurred in childhood or not, it wounded you internally. And so this is you now nurturing yourself in an effort to make you happy. Moving forward, it appears here that that's what you're going to do. You're going to put your own, 9s in tarot are singular, you're going to put your own interest at the forefront moving forward. And you will give, but with limitations. And some people, 5 of Wands, are not going to like that. 5 of Wands, 7 of Cups, the 10 of Cups. The people closest in your inner circle will be very confused by that. Inner circle could be like your neighbors. Like this could be the neighbor who took advantage of you. They were sick and you walked their dog once or twice and now they expect it all the damn time. And it's like, no. No, I did that while you were ill. I'm not going to walk your dog for the rest of its natural life. It's possible for some of you that you are walking away from your family or someone that maybe you were in a committed partnership with, and your friends or your family or your children could even say you're being very selfish by doing that. No. You're finally putting your needs first to not tolerate 5 of Swords behavior. So there will be people in your professional, platonic, romantic sphere who will not like this new change in you. That's on them. They took enough from you. So I see you birthing a new you here. And again, self-interest is card number 45. 4 plus 5 is 9. And again, 9s are very singular. So I think this is a big shift for you, going from playing hero or rescuer to hero and rescuing yourself. Oh, I wanted to get cards on the new people. Thank you. Can I get 3 cards on the new people arriving? See 1, possibly 2 on the card. 1 more shuffle. Thank you. The new people arriving. The Hierophant. The 2 of Swords. And the Queen of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, the Lovers. Okay, so you're going to have a choice here to engage with this. It could be a new job. Hierophant is a lot of different things. At the core, it's something that is institutional and will be part of your structure or your stability. So whether that is an actual institution or a company or a corporation, it could be a community group, political or religious organization that you suddenly become involved in. This is the new that's coming on path for you. A new soulmate, certainly, whether it is professional, platonic, or romantic. And you're going to have a decision here to make about how much you are going to nurture this new connection. And it could be romantic for some of you. It doesn't have to be. But Lovers is the ultimate choice card. Tower and the 7 of Swords. Because it's almost like this time, whoever this person is, you want to make sure that they don't screw you over like the past person. So I see you giving, but with limits. 2 of Swords, it's also Moon in Libra. Libra is the house of marriage, contracts, partnerships, whether they're professional, platonic, or romantic. So it looks like you're going to give, but with limits. So I would expect a new soulmate coming in over the course of the next 6 months. This isn't someone like you bumped their carriage in the store. This is a profound individual. They become part of your core. And it's not a test. It's not a test. But you'll recognize that you will be showing up differently with this boss or business partner, friend, but it is new. Let's get you 3 cards of advice. 3 cards of advice here for you. If it is a past person coming back around, I don't see you opening up yourself to them in that 2 of Swords. Again, you would be like blocking it. The Queen of Wands is like, no trespassing, like no mas. That 2 of Swords is like, no mas. Even the Hierophant, even the High Priestess who's holding the book, the arms are crossed. Not this time. So if it is a past person, because now you've stepped into your power, here they are sneaking up behind you. It's possible for some of you that's what it'll be over the course of the next 6 months. But look how you're looking at that person. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Even if it's like a community group or something that you're moving on from. Yeah, I don't think so. And if it's a new person, you're like, I've been here before. So even if you give, you're going to give very, very modestly. Not as generously as you used to. 2 of Wands for the advice. This is moving forward. 2 paths. You can continue down the road you were on, but I don't believe you're going to do that. This is you making progress and expanding your life, showing up in a different way. The 2 of Wands could also be someone who's detached, like detached from an outcome. 1 more shuffle. Thank you. 2 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, and the Chariot. I think you're going to move on from this. And your advice, Fool card, your advice is start making plans to show up differently. Get yourself unstuck from the mindset that you have to overgive in order to be loved, valued, respected, or needed. People will either give you that because you're just amazing, or they won't. You shouldn't have to overgive to get it. So I can see you shedding that away. Also, if we're looking in terms of health, and again, YouTube terms of service, this is not a health reading. There is something here about you physically and maybe even emotionally healing. So maybe starting to take better care of yourself, because as you pull back your energy, you're going to invest it in yourself. So it's feeling greater physical or like mental strength or emotional strength, and having great self-control, right? In order to move that chariot forward, the emperor or empress who sits in it has to maintain control. It's like being a driver behind the wheel of a car. You control the vehicle. Let's close this out with an Moonology card, please, for the Virgo collective. 1 more shuffle. Thank you. Your Moonology card. Expect powerful change. Told you, new moon eclipse. And the only card in tarot that actually shows an eclipse is the 8 of Cups. So I see you eclipsing the way you used to show up in connection. Bottom of the deck, we have believe in the impossible, blue moon. I think you never thought this day would come that you would actually start to put yourself first. And I think when you do, it might feel a little alien or foreign to you. But I think it's necessary for your growth. And again, it doesn't mean that you're selfish. It just means you love yourself enough to say no. That is what I have for you, Virgo. That is your full moon and Aquarius message. If you like that reading, resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video on your mobile device if you're able to do that. And don't forget to check out your other placements. And so I read for you again. Be gentle with yourself. And as always, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace.